Glen Guyton with another episode of the StepOut podcast. Thank you for tuning in, for joining me today. And the StepOut podcast is all about helping you and motivating you to achieve your dreams, because I want you to live your life and love the life that you live. I believe that we all have a purpose here on earth. And so, why sit back and be unhappy? Why sit back and be envious of other people's lives when we can step out on faith and live the life that God has called us to? So today I am broadcasting from the road, so I hope that you can hear me. I hope the audio is pretty good, and because I am driving, so I'm sure there will be a little bit of road noise. But this month, I'm talking about learning something new. This month, I want you to learn something new, learn a new skill. Last month was the gratitude month, and it was great. The gratitude challenge. A couple of you took on the gratitude challenge. I'm happy to see that. Last month, we wanted to show people that we were grateful and thankful for the things that they've done, that they did in our lives, or that they continue to do in our lives. But this month, I want to challenge you to learn something new. Now, you can't learn something new every day. I guess you could. You can learn a new word every day. So if you want to do that, if you want to increase your vocabulary this month, go ahead and do that. So learn a new skill. That's what I'm going to be posting about on Twitter and Facebook, is about learning new skills, enhancing our lives, living our lives to the fullest, because I want to make sure that each and every one of us live our ideal lives. I want to live my ideal life, and I hope that you want to live your ideal life. Well, one of the things that can help us to achieve our dreams is to make sure that we take advantage of our time. That was the cops driving behind me. But we want to take I was scared. No, I wasn't, because I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't even speeding. He's just driving, but some people get nervous because you ain't living right. That's why you get nervous if the cops are behind you, because you ain't living right. You need to live right. So back to taking advantage of the time that you have. So I have a drive. So I'm driving. I'm here for a meeting. I'm in town, and it's often hard for me as I travel to keep a good rhythm and to keep good habits, because I'm on the road and I'm traveling. So I have a lot of time on my hand, a lot of time on an airplane, a lot of time right now I'm driving. And so if you want to be successful, if you want to maximize the time that you have to start looking at opportunities where you can be productive. And so I'm driving on the road right now. So I said, well, the Step Out podcast is 20 minutes. I have a 2-hour drive ahead of me. So why not make a podcast? And so that's what I'm doing. I'm making a podcast today to demonstrate ways in which we can save time and multitask. Now, I am keeping my eyes on the road. I don't want you to do anything crazy and kill yourself while you're multitasking. I don't want you texting and driving, but I figure I can talk and drive, right? Because if I wasn't talking to you right now, I would be listening to my Prince CD, or listening to Public Enemy, or something, or just doing something to keep myself occupied. So I'm driving and I'm paying attention to the road. But when you travel, or if you're in your car, those are perfect opportunities for you to learn new skills. You can put in a tape, one of those CDs, or use your phone, download some Spanish tapes if you want to learn Spanish, or if you want to increase your vocabulary, you can do that while you're driving. If you want to learn scripture, if you want to memorize scriptures, put in a Bible tape. A lot of those things you can do when you're driving on the road, back and forth to work, or when the kids are in the car, other than listening to Tom Joyner or Steve Harvey or something like that, listening to how great they are. How about doing something that can increase your greatness? Or instead of listening to NPR or whatever you listen to, let's do something productive. And it can be fun. It can be interesting. I remember when I took driver's ed when I was 15 years old, taking driver's ed. My driver's ed teacher always played these tapes back then. She was playing tapes. She was playing tapes about this gorilla, the garrulous gorilla. It was a vocabulary tape. And I still remember it today, like garrulous gorilla. The garrulous gorilla talked, or something like that. So I learned the word garrulous by listening to her tapes, which I thought were dumb at the time. But it's a way to be productive. If you want to read a book, hey, why not put in an audio tape and listen to that book that you've been one to listen to for a while, or something that has some either redeeming value or just pure entertainment. But there are a lot of things that you can do. One of the things I've had to learn how to do is to take advantage of my time on the plane. So instead of just sleeping, I do try to do some writing. It's a good time to check email because, email can be horrendous. I hate email. I mean, you get so many emails and they can be distracting. They can be a time waster. And so I used to get on a plane, either sleep or watch movies, and I still do that occasionally, depending on what time my flight is. But one good thing that you can do is to just check email. Clean out your email inbox when you're on the plane. You can reply and you can save them, save your emails so they're all seen once you get off the plane. But it's a good way to save time when you're doing nothing. When you're doing nothing. And now this is not to say that downtime isn't good. We need downtime, but we want to be productive with our time. So when it's time to rest and relax, hey, let's rest and relax. When it's time to work, let's work as hard as we can so that we can enjoy the time that we have off with no regrets, without feeling guilty. Sometimes what happens is that we waste time and then we don't take vacation. We don't feel good about taking vacation because we wasted so much time. We've been so distracted. We spend time at the water cooler talking about God knows what. We're worried about what Ryan Lochte's lying about today. Those things that don't help us to get to the place where we want to be, to get to the place where we need to be. And we all have plenty of leisure time, more than we would think. I mean, you can exercise. You can exercise when you're watching TV. Maybe you do like watching TV. But hey, why not set up a TV in your room where you exercise and you can work out and do all those things so you can get fit, and you can also catch up on what's going on Empire. There's many different ways in which we can be productive. And this month I'm encouraging you to be productive and learn a new skill. You have 30 days. 30 days for the month of September. Learn a new skill. Develop a good habit. One guy that I follow on Facebook, John Acuff, has this 30-day hustle thing. So maybe you want to check out his book, The 30-Day Hustle, for this month, and you can do some hustling for the next 30 days. Or you can catch up on the StepOut podcast. Hey, remember, if you're listening to this podcast, you can watch it on YouTube. You can catch me on Stitcher Radio, or you can subscribe on iTunes. Check me out. You also can go to my website, glenguyton.com. That's me, Glen Guyton. And I like speaking to youth, young adults, and helping people and organizations achieve their dreams. So consider me next time you have an opening for a keynote speaker or a workshop. See, I'm being productive. I'm promoting myself. I'm plugging myself. And hey, that's another thought. I have a friend of mine. We were talking. A friend I went to college with. She's an author. She wrote a book, and we were talking about her book. And I was like, hey. She was like, hey, I don't want to promote my book to my friends. I said, why not? People have to know that you're out there. You can't be the silent expert. You can't have all these resources and you keep these resources to yourself. Her name is Tiffany Robinson. Go look up her book. It's called Zoe's Sidewalk. That's the name of her book, and I actually bought a copy, and it's a book. Check it out. Go check out her book, and I hope to have her on a podcast. Maybe the next podcast after this one, I'll have Tiffany on, and she can tell us a little bit about her book. But one of the things is we have to use resources, and we have to use the connections that we have in order to get to where we want to be. Now, this is not like selling Amway, and I'm sorry if you sell Amway or you're involved in some multi-level marketing. No, it's not just about hounding your friends and trying to get them to sign up for the latest and the greatest thing that you are selling. No, if you have something that you feel is of value, share it with your friends. Share it. If you have a product, if you've written a book, if you have an area of knowledge and expertise that you can share and help other people, do that. Because you never know what will motivate people. And because you are living out your dream, because you're living your ideal life, you can help other people to step out and do the things that they are called to do. So this month, I don't know what it is, something that you've been wanting to do. You learning how to cook. Maybe you can't cook. Maybe you want to get better at exercise. But 30 days, just take 30 days and commit to it this month. That's my challenge to you. My challenge to you this month is to learn a new skill. Well, I just learned a new skill right now. This car has something like when you change lanes, the car I'm driving in. If you're not watching this podcast, you're just listening to it. I'm driving on the road. I have a meeting and I'm trying to be productive with my time. So I'm shooting another episode of the Step Out podcast. But this car has a little lane change. I didn't even know. I'm driving in a Chevy Impala and it has this lane change thing. So now it's green right now. It's green saying that I'm in my lane. But if I start talking crazy and I'm not paying attention, if I start going over to the next lane, it alerts me. Now I put a signal on and I went over and it didn't do that. Wonderful technology. See, I learned something new. I learned how to operate this Chevy Impala. I'm filming a podcast. I'm learning about the Chevy Impala, which I'm not getting any endorsement money by telling you this, but I'm just letting you know. I'm driving this Chevy Impala, and I've learned about staying in my lane. See, you can learn all the time. Be productive. Learn as much as you can. And, yeah, and it's fun, too, right? It's fun, right? Learning new skills. Isn't that fun? I mean, as you know, so, okay, let me go back. Why am I saying learn a new skill? Well, sometimes we really don't know what it is that we want to do in life, especially, you know, as a young person. You know, maybe you've had a limited amount of exposure to the world, to skills. So you have to try new things. And so getting hobbies, meeting people, networking with different people, asking them about the things that they are interested in may help you find out what it is that you want to do. I really believe in that. Some of us, or some people, not me, were born just like, this is what I want to do. I know I want to be a veterinarian, and they never waver, they never deviate. But I've done a whole lot of different things in my life. And it takes a while for you to, you know, to get to the point where you feel comfortable stepping out beyond the parameters that, you know, typically we have as people. You know, they say, hey, I want you to go to school, make good grades, go to college, and get a good job. That may not be the path for some people. Some people may want to take an alternative route. You know, maybe some people want to join the military. Maybe some people want to learn a trade, go to trade school, and not go to college. College isn't for everyone. And so we shouldn't force people to step out into our idea of success. We need to help people to discover their gifts. And one of the ways is experimentation, or guided experimentation. Not just going out here willy-nilly doing God knows what, every crazy thing, but, you know, try to talk to people, try to learn from people that are doing things that are interesting to you, and, you know, try it out. You know, try it out. You may love some of these things, or you may hate them. One time I wanted to be a chef. I wanted to be a chef because I love cooking, and I thought, hey, I can own a restaurant, be in business for myself. And so I asked this lady that worked at Outback Steakhouse. She heard me on the radio talking about this, and so I got a job at Outback Steakhouse as a server. That's that little beep, beep, beep. That's because I'm driving over the lane, but it's not my fault. It's because they're doing road work. Okay, so the lady at Outback Steakhouse, she offered me a job, and so I was a server at Outback Steakhouse. And I actually enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed waiting on tables and learning about the restaurant business. And I mean, it's a franchise, but I learned a lot about the restaurant business. And I figured out I didn't want to work every Saturday and Sunday for the rest of my life. That's not what I wanted to do. And that's when restaurants are open, unless you're Chick-fil-A. So maybe I can open up a Chick-fil-A. But I decided it wasn't for me. I still love cooking. I still have a passion for it. But the typical restaurant business wasn't going to work for what I wanted to do in my life. And how did I find it out? Well, I talked to someone that had some expertise. I also tried it out. And it wasn't for me. I joined the military. I was in the military. Some of you know that. Most of you all know that if you're listening to this podcast. And the military was a way to help me get focused. Some people don't need that. I needed it to get that focus, the discipline that was a part of the military. But I only did my a short period of time in the military. I didn't become a career officer because, again, I had other interests. I had other things that I felt were important, and I felt that God had something else in store for me other than serving 20 years. And I have friends that are in the military and have served 20 years. They're career soldiers. You know, those are choices that they made, and it fits for who God has called them to be. Me, I had a different path. I actually got in ministry, helping people and doing those things, and I loved it. I did youth ministry for a number of years, 17 years. I enjoyed it. I felt like it was a better fit for who I was called to be. And then there came a time in my life where I felt like, okay, I'm 40 years old. I need to do something different. And so we have to continue to grow and evolve in life, and we have to continue to learn new skills. So that's why I'm challenging you to learn new skills. You can never stop this process. Some people will maintain one career throughout their lives, but even then you have to educate yourself. You have to keep learning. You have to stay relevant. You have to learn new skills. And I believe that as long as we are alive, that we need to continue to grow in some capacity. So increasing knowledge is an excellent way to grow and learn, to keep your mind active and engaged with the world. So I don't know how old you are listening to this podcast, but if you're a young person and you think that the learning stops, it never stops, it never ends. You have to keep learning. Like I had to learn how to do, podcasting, and I had to learn how to use different technology and edit my videos, and just, you have to keep learning in order to stay relevant. And I could still be shooting this video on a VHS tape and nobody would watch it, right? Nobody would watch it, but I can do it on my phone. And maybe nobody is still, I know, I hope you're watching. Somebody's watching this. Somebody's listening to this, and this is helping somebody. So, so continue to grow and develop and learn new skills. Well, I hope that you will participate this month, the month of September, as I challenge you to learn a new skill. And I want to hear from you. I want to hear the new skills that you're learning. I want to learn. I want to hear what you've done this week. So I'm going to post on Facebook, Twitter, follow me, and I want to know what's going on. Let me know the things that you are doing this month to improve yourself, to learn a new skill, or to reach your dreams. So thank you for joining me on this on the road version of the Step Out podcast. This is your host, Glen Guyton, and new episodes post each and every week. Make sure, if you like this, go to iTunes, give me a rating, give me a review. If you like this, go to Stitcher Radio, give me a review so other people can find out how great this program is. But thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching. And this has been the Step Out podcast. I don't know what your dreams are, but I would encourage you to do something today to get you one step closer to achieving that dream. Thanks. Bye-bye.